Zionism, it's a word that carries weight, a term that has been the subject of countless discussions and arguments, a word that evokes passion, debate, and a history as complex as the region it seeks to define. It is a term that has been both celebrated and vilified. At its core, Zionism is the movement for the self-determination of the Jewish people in their ancestral homeland, the land of Israel. It is a quest for a place where they can live without fear. It's a story of resilience, of a people yearning for a safe haven after centuries of persecution and displacement, a narrative of survival against all odds. But it's also a story intertwined with conflict, with the displacement of another people, the Palestinians. This duality is at the heart of the ongoing struggle. Zionism emerged in the late 19th century, fueled by a surge of anti-Semitism sweeping across Europe. It was a response to a world that seemed increasingly hostile. Pogroms, organized massacres of Jews were rampant in Eastern Europe. These violent outbreaks left deep scars and a desperate need for a sanctuary. Discrimination was a fact of life in the West. Jews faced barriers in every aspect of life, from employment to education. The Dreyfus affair in France, where a Jewish army officer was falsely accused of treason, exposed the deep-seated anti-Semitism that permeated European society. It was a stark reminder of the precarious position Jews held. For many Jews, assimilation seemed impossible. They were caught in a cycle of hope and despair. They were seen as outsiders, their loyalty questioned. No matter how much they tried to fit in, they were always viewed with suspicion. They craved a place to call their own, a place where they could live freely as Jews, a land where they could build a future for their children. This longing for a homeland, a place of refuge and rebirth, fueled the Zionist movement. It was a dream of renewal and safety, the yearning for Zion, the ancient Hebrew name for Jerusalem and a symbol of the Jewish homeland, resonated deeply. It was a call to return to their roots. It wasn't just a political movement, it was a deeply personal and spiritual one. It was about identity and belonging. It was about reclaiming a heritage, rebuilding a nation from the ashes of exile. A journey of hope, hardship, and an unyielding spirit. Enter Theodor Herzl, a Jewish journalist living in Vienna who would go on to change the course of Jewish history. Herzl, witnessing the rising tide of anti-Semitism, underwent a profound transformation. He saw the suffering and discrimination faced by Jews across Europe. He came to believe that the only solution to the Jewish question was the creation of a Jewish state. This idea became his life's mission. In 1896, Herzl published his seminal work, Der Judenstaat, the Jewish state, which outlined his vision for a Jewish homeland. This pamphlet became the manifesto of the Zionist movement, laying out a pragmatic and political vision for a Jewish state. It inspired many Jews to rally behind his cause. Herzl argued that only through political action and international recognition could Jews achieve self-determination and escape persecution. He tirelessly advocated for this cause. Herzl was a man of action. He traveled extensively, meeting with world leaders and Jewish communities to garner support. He organized the first Zionist Congress in Basel, Switzerland in 1897, bringing together Jewish leaders from around the globe. This gathering marked a turning point in Jewish history. It was the first time Jews had come together in such a formal and organized manner to discuss their future. It brought together Jewish leaders from across the world, united by a common goal to establish a Jewish homeland in Palestine. This unity was unprecedented. The Basel Program, adopted at the Congress, became the founding document of the Zionist movement. It laid out the steps needed to achieve their goal. It called for the creation of a home for the Jewish people in Palestine, secured by public law. This was a bold and ambitious plan. Herzl's vision, once dismissed as a utopian dream, was now a concrete political program. His relentless efforts laid the groundwork for the future state of Israel. World War I reshaped the geopolitical landscape, creating an opportunity for the Zionist movement. The aftermath of the war saw the collapse of empires and the redrawing of borders, setting the stage for new national aspirations. In 1917, the British government issued the Balfour Declaration, a document that would have far-reaching consequences for the Middle East and beyond. This declaration expressed support for the establishment of a national home for the Jewish people in Palestine, a significant milestone for the Zionist cause. The declaration was a major victory for Zionists, who had long sought international recognition and support for their aspirations. It recognized the Jewish people's right to a homeland in Palestine, a land with deep historical and religious significance for Jews. However, the declaration also contained a crucial caveat. It stipulated that nothing should be done to prejudice the civil and religious rights of existing non-Jewish communities in Palestine, a point that would become a source of contention. Following World War I, the League of Nations granted Great Britain a mandate over Palestine, entrusting them with the responsibility of implementing the Balfour Declaration. The British Mandate, as it became known, was tasked with implementing the Balfour Declaration, balancing the interests of both Jewish and Arab populations. This mandate opened the door for increased Jewish immigration to Palestine, further fueling tensions with the Arab population, who felt their own rights were being overlooked. The British found themselves caught between competing promises and escalating violence, struggling to maintain order and fulfill their commitments. The stage was set for a conflict that would continue long after the British withdrew from Palestine, leaving a legacy of unresolved tensions and enduring strife. The horrors of the Holocaust, the systematic genocide of 6 million Jews by Nazi Germany, profoundly impacted the Zionist movement and global opinion. The world witnessed the devastating consequences of anti-Semitism, lending a moral urgency to the Zionist cause. The Holocaust underscored the desperate need for a Jewish state, a safe haven from persecution. It galvanized international support for the creation of Israel. The world, still reeling from the horrors of genocide, was more receptive to the plight of the Jewish people. Section 5, 1948, A Nation Reborn, a Conflict Ignited. On May 14, 1948, David Ben-Gurion, the head of the Jewish Agency, declared the establishment of the State of Israel. This declaration marked the culmination of decades of struggle and sacrifice, the fulfillment of the Zionist dream. However, the birth of Israel came at a heavy price. The 1948 Arab-Israeli War, which erupted immediately after Israel's declaration of independence, resulted in the displacement of hundreds of thousands of Palestinians. This displacement, known as the Nakba, or catastrophe in Arabic, remains a deeply traumatic and contentious issue to this day. The establishment of Israel marked a new chapter in Jewish history, but it also ignited a conflict that continues to shape the Middle East. The Palestinian exodus, the ongoing struggle for land and recognition, and the cycle of violence have left deep scars on both sides. Section 6. American Jews and Zionism, a bond forged in shared destiny. The relationship between American Jews and Zionism has been profound and complex. Prior to World War II, American Jewish support for Zionism was relatively muted. However, the Holocaust and the establishment of Israel galvanized American Jewish identity around Zionism. Israel became a source of pride and a symbol of Jewish resilience. Support for Israel was seen as a moral imperative, a way to atone for the world's silence during the Holocaust. However, the Six-Day War in 1967 marked a shift in this relationship. Israel's swift victory and territorial gains solidified its image as a regional power, but also raised questions about its policies towards the occupied territories. Section 7, Modern Zionism, a tapestry of beliefs and challenges. Modern Zionism is not a monolithic movement. It encompasses a wide spectrum of ideologies, from secular to religious, from left-wing to right-wing. There are Zionists who support a two-state solution, believing in the need for a Palestinian state alongside Israel. Others advocate for a one-state solution, envisioning a single binational state for both Israelis and Palestinians. Zionism continues to be a central and often contentious issue in Middle Eastern politics. The Israeli-Palestinian conflict, the debate over settlements, and the question of Palestinian self-determination remain major challenges. Section 8, the year 2024. Resilience and resistance in the face of adversity. In 2024, Israel faced a wave of existential threats. Hamas, Hezbollah, and other militant groups continue to pose security challenges. The Israeli Defense Forces, or IDF, engaged in operations to contain Hamas in Gaza, free hostages, and respond to rocket attacks from Hezbollah in Lebanon. Despite these threats, Israel demonstrated remarkable resilience. The country's economy continued to grow and its citizens displayed a jolly fortitude, as one Jerusalem Post article put it. Volunteers mobilized to support soldiers and communities affected by the conflict, showcasing the spirit of unity and determination that has come to define the Israeli spirit. Section 9, Navigating the Labyrinth, the Future of Zionism and the Quest for Peace. Zionism, born out of a history of persecution and the dream of a homeland, remains a powerful force in the 21st century. However, it faces profound challenges, both internal and external. The Israeli-Palestinian conflict continues to cast a long shadow, and the question of how to achieve a just and lasting peace remains elusive. The future of Zionism hinges on its ability to navigate the complexities of the Middle East, to reconcile with its past, and to find a path towards peaceful coexistence. It requires a commitment to dialogue, empathy, and a recognition of the humanity of all those involved. Only then can the dream of a secure and peaceful future for both Israelis and Palestinians be realized.